House after house, over 3 dozen, built in the last 7 years by Spokane's Habitat for Humanity. Built by a multitude of volunteers, hands from civic groups, churches, businesses, university workers, all supporting Habitat's mission of creating decent, low-income housing. But 1995 brought the dawn of a new source of volunteers, hundreds drawn to this corner lot in Southeast Spokane.
We're so grateful for your presence in our life and for the freedom that we have to gather together as women and to dream this wonderful dream.
Many had never swung a hammer. Almost all had never helped build a house.
We can make a difference.
But all were women willing to try to go it on their own.
We've tapped into a big reservoir of ability and caring.
We pray for your guidance and direction through this project and come to a completion in safety.
We gather to recognize and claim the blessings of your earth as we begin this labor of love. We take from the earth a bit of soil, the first to be moved, and dedicate it with seed and prayer.
The Women's House Project officially began in May on Mother's Day with a ground blessing. Volunteers and project supporters gathered at the lot at 4th and Haven, where women plan to build not one house, but 2, a duplex for 2 single mothers and their children. A project for future homeowners Mary Siegel and Shirley Watson, and a project meant to encourage more women to believe they too could build homes for Habitat.
Hi, I'm Karen Kelly. It's been just over 7 months now since that ground blessing, and the Women's House Project is nearing completion. Joining me in this special presentation, Elizabeth Gardner and Laura Ashley.
Watch as in the next 30 minutes, the Women's House Project, this incredible gray house behind us, has progressed.
We'll also show you how this house and dozens of other Habitat projects are strengthening our community.
Let's go check on the work inside. You know, if you've ever been involved in Habitat, you know that it is a program that truly builds community among citizens and in neighborhoods. It inspires people to act as one big family.
You don't need to angle the hammer. Just hit the nail
now
squarely on the head.
Okay.
It will already go in at an angle.
Okay.
Trust yourself.
Okay.
You can do this.
Oh, I can.
Oh, you bet.
It's been amazing to watch.
For 7 months, the Women's House Project has been building a home and the strength of several communities at once.
In terms of the spirit of the women's community, of just women connecting and women empowering each other and recognizing each other, it's been phenomenal.
This Habitat duplex has allowed hundreds of women to say, yes, I can build a house. But the power of this project goes far beyond the walls that have taken shape since June.
Yes, it's changed the neighborhood a bit.
Rebecca and Sam Fabrizio own the house next door to the Women's House Project. They and the other homeowners on the block are glad to see that there's a home now on that vacant lot.
There's a lot of undesirable people hanging around the corner. It's a little dark as a field. There's a tree over here they could hide behind.
It's helped a neighborhood that's been working to build community. They have a police substation, Cops Haven, just down the street.
I think it's a combination of everything that's going on in East Central. It's changing, and it's changing for the better.
Most of the homes along Haven near the Women's House Project have their owners living in them. Residents say it's a closer neighborhood these days with people watching out for each other. Wayne Cole is known as the neighbor who helps out his neighbors.
Yeah, I help the older people, you know.
He's been watching over the Women's House Project construction site from his front porch all summer and noticing other improvements as well.
This house was painted just this summer, and this one here is a siding put on it since they laid the plans for that. It's helped a lot in bringing the neighborhood up, you know.
We're also told the project has changed some attitudes.
I know the men are upset.
Tom Bernard says seeing women do construction work has inspired several men in the neighborhood.
They didn't know how to roof a house, or some of them don't even know how to hang sheetrock. But they're learning. They certainly are learning now.
It took months to see the changes that Karen just told you about. Changes as the women's house was built. Let's go back to show you what volunteers faced when the project began.
The month is May. Long before any work can begin, the ground needs to be cleared.
If you can back the trailer up as close to this stuff as we can get, then we'll load it up and do that.
It's a tough job, but these women jump in ready to clear the way to start their house. There are pieces of glass, chunks of metal, and twisted branches.
This is just 1 year's worth of trash.
All of it must be gone before the ground can be broken. The backhoe scraped away the first shovels of topsoil in June, underneath a lot of rock, which makes for a bigger job than expected.
There's a lot of rock in it. That's why we had to bring the big machine.
The work starts early in the day, but by the end, there's an outline carved into the ground for the house that women built.
To become a Habitat homeowner, a candidate must be low income and live in inadequate housing. The candidate must be able to repay the home loan and have a willingness to work.
Every family that's selected to become a Habitat homeowner must earn sweat equity in projects like this one and attend several workshops.
That's in addition to repaying the cost of the house. Here's how it works. Habitat grants them a 20-year loan at no interest. The typical monthly payment, including taxes and insurance, is $225 a month.
Now, when it comes to the workshop requirement, there are several Habitat families must attend. They cover budgeting, home and yard maintenance and repair, legal issues, energy efficiency, and conflict resolution. This in addition to putting in 500 hours of work building Habitat homes. Clearly, it's a program that benefits families.
You only have to talk with one of the two women that will own one of these duplexes to find out how being involved with Habitat has helped. And there are many others who feel their family is more secure because of Habitat.
It's helped build my self-esteem and realize that I'm somebody, because years ago I just didn't think, I wouldn't even imagine this would happen.
43-year-old Mary Siegel has been volunteering for Habitat for over 2 years. Cerebral palsy prevents her from helping to build homes, but Mary's worked hard on Habitat mailings and calling volunteers. Whatever she could do to get the required volunteer hours in while she waited for her turn to become a Habitat homeowner. Mary's number came up with the Woman's House Project. Now she's out of an abusive marriage and looking forward to moving in with her 5 children.
If you saw me 2 years ago and you see me now, it's a complete different outlook on how I look at things. I mean, I feel like I can do things. I'd like to go back to school and become an advocate for domestic violence.
Mary's 14-year-old daughter has been working on the house, and she says that the whole project is already making a difference in her family.
Being able to be a part of the building and just being able to be a part of everything that goes on with the house, I think that does something for your kids.
The single mom who will own the other half of the duplex being built by the women is seeing the changes as well. 53-year-old Shirley Watson, her son and daughters have been putting in a lot of time on the Woman's House Project.
Here we go.
When she's not on the construction site, she's driving a school bus for District 81 or getting her kids to sporting events. There's been little free time lately.
We don't get any housework done at home.
But building their new life is a challenge Shirley welcomes and that her kids are grateful for.
She's the one that's going to be living in that house for the rest of her life, so I think she's really going to like it, because we can leave her in a good home when we go on with our lives.
Both the Watsons and the Siegels can look to other Habitat families like Stan and Ellen Kaiser to see leaving cramped substandard housing brings new promise to a family.
My kids are doing better in school because they're in one place. They've made friends. Both my husband and I are back in the neighborhood we grew up in.
The Kaisers have been Habitat homeowners for 4 years now and are mentors for new Habitat families and openly talk about the positive changes the program brought to their family.
Before we were living in a trailer. As the freedom of the house to enjoy each other, we became closer. The family became closer and closer and closer. We were able to communicate better because you don't have the closeness where you're cramped.
And that's one of the things the Kazers have been emphasizing to Mary Siegel, who raised 9 kids in a 2-bedroom house. And as that message is becoming reality, it's turning into a twinkle in Mary's eye.
It's going to feel neat, I think. I think it's going to be neat.
Now back to the work of building the Women's House Project. You've seen the work it took to break ground, but before they could start pounding any nails, they had to lay the foundation. It was some of the toughest work so far, but these women were fearless and determined. Two months have passed since the ground was cleared. It's July, time for the foundation to be poured. It's back-breaking work.
You use muscles you never knew you had.
And often tedious.
That's why she's tapping on there too, is to make the rocks go into the center, so we have nice smooth walls.
Things are going well. The foundation is poured, and we're ready for the next step. In August, things really get moving.
This is a one fluid movement.
It's time to raise the first wall.
Once we start lifting, we are not going to stop till it gets up, because if we do, we're dead. And we'll have to drop it, and we don't want to do that.
The first one to go up will be the back wall of the east unit. It's 45 feet long and very heavy.
Habitat is not a government program. Private donations are combined with volunteer labor to build homes for deserving families.
There are not adequate words to describe the great heart and the effort of the women who have worked on this house for the past 7 months. But we have no doubt that their spirit and selflessness will remain in this home when the new owners move in.
And Karen, here's an example of that right here in the walls. At the end of each day, every woman signs their name and a message to the studs. Here's one. It says, "I've learned so much, met great ladies, have made great memories. May this house be as blessed for you as it has been for me. Teresa Hale." Now, there are hundreds of examples of the volunteer spirit just like this all over both of these houses.
And we've finished the shed since you've been here. There are so many people that are giving so much to this project, and each person who's giving is giving what they can. It all has value. We honor each person's contribution.
Many of the women who walk onto the building site have never picked up a hammer before. At the end of the day, they leave with more than a new skill and sore muscles.
They laugh, they have a good time, they're empowered, I hate that word. But they really are learning, and they're so generous with their time and with their spirit.
Kay Hurst is one of the women who does know a lot about construction. She and her husband built their own house. He died a year and a half ago in a construction accident.
So this has been something that gave me something to do, something to look forward to. It's sort of a testimonial to my husband, because he's the one who taught me how to do a lot of this. So this has been something that I think that I'm able to give back to Spokane for what Spokane has given to me.
Donna Miller, the project manager, is here every day to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Her constancy, her dedication, she has a true, sincere spirituality.
Julie Bookstrom is the volunteer coordinator. It's her responsibility to see that there are enough women to work each day. Sharon Harkrader works at a construction company. She worked a lot of miracles to get the materials this project needed.
Keeps the wind from picking it up and pulling the roof off.
About 800 women worked on this house, a lot of them behind the scenes.
Oh, there's about 2.5 dozen in each box.
Connie Miles brought cookies to the site every week. Now, that may not seem difficult, but Connie gets the cookies donated, and she has to ride the bus to get to the house.
I was asked, and I enjoy it, and helping others. Good project. It's a worthwhile project. We have found that every woman on this site has a unique offering to give, and some women can hammer nails and get up on the roof, and some women can hammer nails and be down below, and some women like Connie can round up cookies.
A About lunchtime every workday, Eileen Calkins, a retired doctor, shows up. She's affectionately known as the M&M lady.
I can't do any pounding or anything of that sort. So, but I can take pictures and I can bring them M&Ms. We have a lot of fun.
The spirit of hard work, community, and love is infectious here.
And each woman has done it without need for recognition or even outside appreciation. I think from genuine generosity and the spirit of the Women's Project, wanting to be a part of it.
The really challenging and scary part came in September and October when volunteers who had a fear of heights had a chance to overcome that fear when the roof trusses went on. It's September and the work doesn't get any easier. Once the trusses are up, the house really starts taking shape.
I've got 24, outside to inside.
But there's a problem. The trusses aren't quite straight, and that must be corrected before any work can continue.
22 and a half.
Soon the problem is fixed, and the house is built.
After trusses, everything is finished. A roof is finished, windows are finished, siding is finished. The house is built with trusses. It's the last thing you put on, it's the last thing you build.
The house may be built, but all the finishing work is still left to do. In October, the walls and windows are going up. They've got to be finished before the cold weather sets in. Once the walls and windows are in place, the outside is nearly complete. Next up, the siding.
Habitat recycles your donations. All payments made to Habitat by its homeowners are used to build more homes in Spokane.
As of right now, 80 volunteer days have gone into building this duplex. It would take a regular contractor roughly 120 days to complete a similar project. In the last 6 weeks, the work has picked up quite a bit because the volunteer effort has moved completely inside.
Can you live with that?
Yeah.
Good.
It's November, and what was just a frame a few months ago is now covered with a skin of gray.
Well, what we're doing now is very visible. You know, as soon as you start putting the siding up, it's very obvious and you can see the progress. And it's really encouraging.
Now that the vinyl siding and the roofing is on, the work can move inside. There you go. In December, it's apparent that all the elements are coming together. The volunteers have the ceilings ready to be taped and mudded, and the sheetrock is going up right on schedule. All that's left, the finishing touches for the duplex, things like painting and putting in the cabinets. That should go quickly. Soon, the house that women built will be ready for its new families. Clearly, there's still work to be done on the Women's House Project, and the volunteers can use your help. You can send a donation to the Women's House Project or any of the other homes Habitat is building by sending it to this address, 732 North Napa, Spokane, Washington, 99202.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to the story of people helping people.
Habitat's donors and volunteers are truly making Spokane a better place with more than 36 safe and affordable homes they've built for local families.
We dedicate this program to everyone involved in Habitat and the courageous first-time effort of the supporters and volunteers of the Women's House Project.
I'd never turn down a project like this.
Women don't normally go out and build houses.
It's home building, and the home means a lot more than a house.
I got distracted over here. We're having all the fun. It's nice to do something to help somebody else.
It's an expression of love. These women are absolutely astounding and amazing on a daily basis.
It's really fun to have the family that live here working on the job too. They're just kind of mesmerized by it, I think, some days.
side by side with someone who, for whatever reason, doesn't have a house and realize that in all other ways you're equal.